right, on our first segment today, we're having a discussion, and the topic is how social media affects relationship and marriages of today. And with me here, I have Mr. Aliyu
Good
and
afternoon.
Mrs. Temi Tayo. You guys are welcome.
Thank you.
Very much.
Good
All
afternoon.
right. Mr. Aliyu, to you, your first question, or our first question for you today is the effect of social media to marriages. Does it break or make marriages?
I think social media is a tool. Basically, I think it's a tool. So no tool can be judged in itself. It's like saying the knife in your kitchen. It can be used to cook,
Yeah.
but can also be used for harm. So no tool in itself, especially when it's an inanimate thing, can be judged if it's negative or positive. It now depends on the user. So that's the thing with social media. The user now comes in. So we now ask ourselves, is the user using it appropriately or inappropriately? So
How about you?
Oh, absolutely. I would really like to agree with him.
Yes.
Social media, we can't say it neither makes or mark, right? So
Yeah.
it depends on the user, right? It depends on how people approach the use of social media.
Okay.
So I would say it can be positive and it can be negative. So dependent on the users on social media.
Okay, for you now, how do you know when social media becomes a problem in a relationship?
Okay, so I can give one example. For example, if you see people posting couple goals, on IG, for example, and then you now go to your partner and say, can't you see this person doing this? You're not doing this for me, but you never can tell what is happening in that
Behind
relationship
closed doors.
behind closed doors, right? So it becomes toxic when you begin to use it as a basis for comparison, right? Because comparison is a thief of joy in relationships and marriages. So comparison. Once you begin to look and you see that, I think my partner is not meeting up to standards, maybe based on the picture or based on what a couple is saying, and then you never can. I mean, that's when I would say it's toxic.
Okay.
One of the
Okay.
factors.
Do you have another factor?
no. So basically, we thought along the same line.
Yeah.
And as soon as you asked that question, the first thing that came up was comparisons.
Yes.
And then because social media was designed to compare. When you check the attention engineers, social media thrives on comparison. Yeah, that's why there's a figure attached to the number of likes. So we have to check. Is this person getting more likes?
Yeah.
Why are they getting more likes? Oh, they edit their pictures better. Oh, why? So that's how it works, because they understand how humans work. By virtue of your psychological makeup as a human being, you're competitive by nature. You're competing for resources, you're competing for certain things. So they know that fact. So basically, they know that, okay, because these humans like to compete, let's give them something to compete about. So yes, like she said, comparison, I took that statement.
Yeah.
It's the thief of joy. Start
So
comparing.
don't you think sometimes when you compare a bit, it will actually change your partner for the better? Maybe when you like, okay, I've seen this couple doing this. I think I and my partner should do this. Don't you think it's a good way of using social media to be better in your relationships?
Okay. I'll take it from this other angle. You really cannot change anybody, right? So we're
So you don't
let's-
agree with the school of thought that says you can change a person when you get
No,
married to the
not
person or
at
when you're in a
all.
relationship.
Absolutely not. You cannot change anybody.
Oh,
You
okay.
can people change when they're ready to change, when they see the need to change. So if you're with your partner now and you see that I cannot deal with some things, maybe because I don't know, whatever it is,
Yes.
and you hope that maybe in marriage that thing will change. Newsflash, it may not change. So you can't really change
only
people.
change
So
he will only change if he chooses.
If he chooses to change, if he sees the need, he or she sees the
Yeah.
need to change. So
Okay.
yeah, sometimes, I mean, of course, we are human beings. We check IG, we see all of those things, and we sometimes apply it in our, to make us,
spice it up,
but
yeah.
but I would say, if you're going to do that, don't use it in a negative way. If you see something good, of course, we see things. I mean, look at you, you're beautifully dressed. I can say,
Yeah.
oh, I like the way you're dressed. Okay, maybe when next I'm dressing up, I can try this turban in this way and see if it will suit me. And if not, I mean, so you deal with people based on who they are,
Yeah.
right? Accept your differences and deal with it.
Okay. So, do you really, Mr. Leo, now, do you think a real relationship can start up from social media?
Yes. Yeah, you can. It's a tool, like we said. You can. Real relationships can, because
You
it's
know, social
communication.
media of today is more of, I'm sorry to say lies, but people pretend like. So,
Yeah, so that's the thing. When we now begin to break down social media and speak about how many real relationships have happened, we can't say because accidents happen on the road, we'll stop driving. Do you understand? They're bad drivers, they're good drivers. If you want to use social media as a tool to meet people, it's doable. But then you always have to understand that there are pros and cons to everything. It's like back in the days when our parents used to do hookups.
Yeah.
Some of them worked,
True.
but some of them didn't. Now in this era, they say, okay, meet the person you want. Some of them are working, some of them are not. Do you understand? So you now begin to realize that every method has its ups and its downs. And the truth is, if we're in the social media age, you cannot deny the fact that this has to be a tool. It's like saying, as a business, you're not on social media today. It's a lie. It means you're not in business. You don't understand where the world's going to. So in today's world, to be realistic, people meet on social media. Then I would advise them to do physical meetings.
Yeah.
Of course, because the devices keep you apart. You can always, put forward your best foot, look like a neat person. Oh, where are you? I'm in the room. And you had to arrange the room 30 minutes before the video call.
Yes.
But yeah, so you have to also understand the fact that the phones won't do everything for you. So after meeting, which is, oh, hello, hi, then there should be.
Offline.
Should be. Do you understand? Because the phones can never take away traditional human relationship. It can only complement it. It can't take it away. So yeah, social media, a lot of people have great stories. Some people have bad stories. Just the same way when people meet physically.
Yeah.
The same way parents do hook up, good stories, bad stories. So yes, it's a mix of both. So you have to be smart and then you have to understand how it works. Don't just meet people and say, oh, I met this person. I can't breathe because of this person. And then you just say, I'm getting married. No, you have to.
Do you advise people to use social media like as a tool to strengthen their
Oh,
relationship?
absolutely. Why not? Yes, because for example, when I was in a relationship, when I started, I had to travel, and so although we've been friends, but when we took it to the higher level,
Yeah.
I had to travel, and so we had to use the social media. We had to use WhatsApp. We had to use video calls. We had to upgrade and strengthen our relationship through that medium. Of course, there's even data. There are so many things we can. If you go on Google, go on YouTube, you see lots of videos and So yeah, so basically you can actually use social media as a tool to strengthen your relationship. What we're doing now is still going to go on social media.
Yeah.
Other people will watch it and be encouraged
Yeah.
and strengthen their relationships and marriages.
So, Mr. Liu, how do we use social media to strengthen our relationships? Like for people that are watching, that really needs to understand.
Yes, so life is getting busier. But the one thing they always say is you're never too busy. There's a time I understood that, look, at a point in my life, nobody's too busy for people they really love or they really want to be with. Even if you have 3 minutes, you will steal 3 minutes just to talk to somebody, right? And because life is getting busier, you always have to keep that communication gap closed. Because once that gap comes in, it can affect the relationship, So with social media, people must learn to use it positively to reach their spouse. That's why today, when people meet me and say, "Oh, my boyfriend doesn't call me, my wife is not reaching out," I say something is wrong. They're not busy.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
They're never busy. For
Something is wrong because, and now you say it's so easy how you just hit a button. And I'm looking at somebody in London. Like we're looking at you like, "Oh, how are you?" Like, it's that easy. So there's no drama. There's no story. People just have to understand that you have to learn to use these tools positively to help your relationship grow. Don't create that gap. Be systematic about it, be structured about it. If you have a job that is actually very hectic, you can plan. Oh, for 2 p.m. Oh, for 3 p.m. Oh, let's just talk for 30 minutes. A video call, a WhatsApp call, a phone call. Plan it. Just keep that gap going. But by the time you say, oh, and then some people can abuse it by saying, "Oh, I called you 3 times, you didn't pick. I called you 4 times, you didn't pick." You have to also be systematic about it.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So finally, is online dating worth it? Is it really worth it? Or should we just take it away?
I wouldn't say we should take it away. No, because I know of many people who have met their spouses via Facebook, just
Okay.
Facebook, right? So, like it was mentioning the other time, I think it all boils down to you, right? You have to carry out your due diligence. So it starts online, but don't let it end online,
Yeah,
right? You
I
need to
agree.
go offline, get to
Okay.
know the person, meet the
Yeah.
person, carry out your due diligence. Don't just say, "Oh, she's posted this lovely picture. This is how she is." Get to know her behind,
The picture.
behind the
Yeah.
picture. So yeah, I wouldn't say we should strike out online dating because I mean it works. It works, but it depends on like you started saying it depends on the user. Depends on the users. How are you going to use this tool to improve your relationship? So I wouldn't say you should strike it out. Online
Tell
dating is
you.
Yeah, like she said. I mean, the truth is online dating is here to stay. Do you understand? Social media is here to stay. It's going to be a part of us. It's going to keep integrating into the human lifestyle. So you can't rule it out. So, but like she said, never throw away the place of physical meeting, the offline meeting. So after meeting you online, I have to now see you
But do
physically.
you do you think that there will be a time in this world that you don't need to see someone physically? You can just start dating from
Yeah, it has.
social media
Yeah, it has
and
started.
get married.
Yeah, people do it.
See afterwards or something.
Yeah, people do it. But like we said, people do it. Even now, people do it. But like we said, there are always pros and cons. So tomorrow when you always sit across the table, the question comes out like, what happened? Did you ever meet the person? Yes, I saw her for a week or two and we got married.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I don't know her. Of course, you can't know someone in 2 weeks. Hey, you don't know this person. So yes, you have to do your due diligence.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
important to do that. Always do that. Yeah.
It was a really interesting conversation with the both
Thank
of
you.
you.
Thank you
But
very
because of
much.
time, we'll have to end it here.
Thank you
so
very
much
much.
for being on the show.
Thank you
today.
very much. It was a pleasure.
All right, viewers, this is all we have for you for today. You've heard it all. Social media has a good and bad. So take the good to strengthen your relationship and do away with the bad, and everything will be fine.